Alright, hello and welcome everyone, welcome to Zelda Speedruns After Dark. We've got a little bit of a late night match today coming up. Link to the Past ALTTTP Tournament match between caznode and apathyduck in the round 4 of the losers bracket today. This is, after all, a double elimination tournament, so you got two chances in this tournament. Unfortunately, both of our runners today have already used up their one chance. Caznode lost to DoomTap in the round 1, lost myself here. Lost to DoomTap in the winners bracket round 2 there, and apathyduck lost to Buan in the winners bracket round 3. And this being a losers bracket match means that whoever loses today is out. Everything's on the line today for our races today, so whoever wins today will be facing Louis in the losers bracket round 5, and if they prevail, they will then face in losers bracket round 6 whoever loses the winners bracket match. Round 4 between Dow, TMB, and Andy. So it's a long way to the grand finals. But hey, one of them might be making the first step today. So cheer them on. And with that being said, we've obviously, I'm just a stream tech today. I'm with George. I'm just your stream tech. We've got a beautiful commentator on our side here. We've got Ace0. How are you doing? How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Thanks, George. I'm definitely excited for this matchup. Should be a really close one. With this all dungeons restricted major glitches category, anything could happen. So definitely looking forward to a nice close race.
All right. And we are just waiting on one of the races getting ready, and then we will be starting. This is not Windbreaker. The game should have been updated. All right. Looks like the race is kicking off here. Looks like the other racer has ready up, so I'll be passing on to you. Good luck to both of the racers and enjoy the match.
Alright, so yeah, as these runners are starting off, I just want to begin by introducing the category. If anyone is in here that's not familiar with this category, this is Link to the Past, all dungeons, restricted major glitches, meaning that to beat the game, they are required to complete all the dungeons. Restricted major glitches is kind of a bridge between the most popular category, the no major glitches, and the more extreme glitch categories where anything's allowed. We're not going to see a lot of crazy action in the beginning here. This is all going to be pretty straightforward. This escape and then the Eastern Palace is going to be very close to what you would do casually, just pretty fast. So we're not going to see a whole lot of difference. I want to point out, while we're getting started, these two runners have very close PBs. caznode has a low 111, and apathyduck has a high 110, so they're really close. It's such a volatile category. Anything could happen. One mistake could easily swing that, 15-second difference these guys have in their PBs. And as we get underway here, as far as differentiation between the runners, I don't expect we'll see a whole lot. At this point in the tournament, we've got just some of the best left. I don't believe either of these runners will do the safety of getting silver arrows, but we could potentially see that, which would cause some deviation. Yeah, it looks like caznode had a false start, reset real quick, so he's just a few seconds behind after that. Hopefully that doesn't determine the match. Unfortunately, that's going to be a little bit difficult to keep track of his times, as his timer is not up to date, so it's going to be hard to track his splits and see exactly how well he's performing throughout the run, apart from the side-by-side comparison.
Just as a quick tech update, it looks like due to that... Okay, looks like due to that false start, Can you hear me? Sorry,
Yes.
can you hear me? Okay, sorry, I was just
Yes,
wondering.
I
Due
can
to
hear
that
you.
false start, we are getting a restart. Apathyduck has agreed to restart there. And then I'm just instructing them how to forfeit right now, so we can have a rematch. And it looks like we are getting a quick, because due to that false start by caznode, we are getting a quick restart here. So we're gonna set that up quickly. I don't actually know how this handles on the SL. Never had to do this. I'm guessing I just reset the timer. Yeah, I hope this works. I've never had to do this stream teching wise, but we'll see how this works. Alright, in that case, looks like we're both getting ready again. But I do want to quickly note that this was apathyduck agreeing to the rematch. I thought that this was way too late. I was like, this is too late here. I think A0, you have the IRC chat up, right?
Yes, I do.
Alright, looks like they are getting ready again, and we're getting a restart here due to caznode fingering it there a little bit. But yeah, we're off again. We're off again. So apathyduck agreed to the restart there. And this time for real, hopefully. Alright, I guess you get more time to introduce the category.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot else to say. That's a real easy mistake to make. Just get a little too trigger happy and waiting for the race to count down. I certainly have done that before myself. But yeah, it's not too far in the run, especially when you consider what this category is. And like I mentioned, the first couple minutes are mostly on autopilot anyway. It's very straightforward, so it's not like apathyduck really did anything on his side to feel ahead, to feel like he'd earned an advantage. So I certainly understand his willingness to restart.
If you need stuff to talk about, you could get the brackets up and talk how the runners got to this place in the losers bracket, how they went, qualified for this tournament and all of that.
Yes, both. I don't have the group stages ahead of me right now, but both runners did very well during the group stage. apathyduck in the winners bracket went and beat Kyong92. He ended up beating Zero Rush, then lost to Blaine to end up here, as George mentioned previously. For caznode, he beat, I believe it was Fricker RTA. Yes, that's right. He beat Fricker and then lost to Doomtap. And then I think he won another match against... Well, he won a couple matches. He beat Ashter and then Greenham to get to this point. But again, everyone that's left in this tournament is just pretty much top tier in this category, so it should be a good match. So we see them a lot more synced this time. Yeah, so through this escape, there's not a whole lot of tech or anything to focus on. Obviously, each room has some specific strategies and ways of dealing with the RNG. The key component of speed tech involved here, apart from just making sure that your movement is clean, you're not brushing up against any walls you don't need to, you're killing enemies as quickly as possible, entering doorways as centered as possible so you don't have to have the door push you to center. In addition to that, we've got runners pumping when moving in certain directions to get a little bit of a speed boost. When they're moving up and to the left, they'll be doing that. It's pretty much impossible to notice when you're watching, but they will be moving just a slight bit faster left and up when they have long stretches of walking to do. We see both runners going for the 8 slash against the ball and chain guard. tiny bit faster than grabbing those pots and throwing them at him. Do I have a trivia question? Am I supposed to be asking you guys a trivia question? Is that how this works? I could come up with one. Something like, since this is like a... Oh, you're asking Anders to come up with a trivia question for me? I hadn't prepared for trivia, but if you have any questions for me, feel free to throw them out here, and I'll do my best to answer them. But yeah, at this point we've got not a lot of separation. And any difference will probably be washed away or overshadowed by some of the glitches later on, coming up in Eastern Palace or Palace of Darkness splits. Yeah, I could pick someone to root for based on my bracket, but my bracket is terrible and already fallen to pieces. I think is pretty par for the course for most of us. Caznode getting... the duck as well, getting the unfortunate RNG, the rat hiding up in that little alcove, wasting their time. So they can't just kill the rat and grab the key, basically while walking away from it. Why don't the guards notice the passage? If you've noticed in this game, if you haven't, you might pick up on it pretty soon. The guards are pretty unobservant, and sometimes you can walk directly past them, and they just don't even see you if you do it just right. From a few tiles away, they just keep on walking, minding their own business. I don't think the guards notice that the passage is open. All right, one of the key differences you'll see here from newer runners is both runners opting to skip the Sanctuary Heart at this time. They're going to opt to pick it up later. The one extra heart doesn't really help with Eastern here, but they're going to be save and quitting. Since this is a major glitches allowed category, save and quits are allowed, even though it's not really a major glitch. It makes a lot of things a lot safer. If something were to go wrong with a glitch, being able to save and quit and restart and not have your run die is very helpful. It just cuts down a lot of overworld movement, so that's allowed. They skip the Sanctuary Heart. They'll be picking that up later, though, after they save and quit. Right now, runners are doing what's called a citrus clip to skip a lot of this overworld movement. Both runners do a great job. It's like Kaz just maybe a little bit quicker on it to get into Eastern Palace, saving another second or two over apathyduck. That's the first of what we would consider one of the restricted major glitches in this category. A lot of them, as you'll see this go on, they're designed to obviously speed things up. The ones that are allowed mostly cut down on overworld movement, kind of keeps in the meat and potatoes of the fun stuff. Gets you really playing the dungeons and executing the game, and not just walking or running around the overworld screens, which is really nice addition to this category, or a really nice change from the base game. Yeah, the rest of the split's going to play out pretty much like you would do it casually, with the exception of the damage boost they're going to be taking to get the big key. The way the game is designed, you're expected to kill all the enemies in the room coming up here to free the anti-fairies, step on the switch, and then the chest will spawn, but that's slow. Runners will have to take a damage boost, step on the switch using their invincibility frames, which is done in No Major Glitches, as well as, I would assume, any category that does Eastern Palace. Caznode showing it off nicely, and Duck will be doing the same right behind him. Duck does get deboosted down away from it, making a little bit more walking. But again, a lot of these time losses or gains in these first two splits are really minor. There's much bigger issues that are going to come up. Hopefully nothing too bad, but with this category, there will be at least a few seconds lost here and there to some of these tougher tricks or more punishing glitches. Yeah, these runners are allowed to watch each other's stream. Some runners opt not to, just so they can focus on what they're doing. Sometimes it can make a difference determining how aggressively or safely you play. So if you have a big lead, you might opt to play something a little bit safer in the end game, but at this point in time, it won't have any effect on any of their decisions. Both runners are going to be doing the quick kill here on the Armos Knights. Starting in the top right, you can time your arrows in a particular way, both using slightly different patterns of shots to get it done about the same speed. You can do it really quickly, and if you time your arrows right, where you kill the last two Armos Knights about the same time, the last one doesn't become enraged, and it saves you a couple of arrows and a little bit of time. So, pretty simple quick kill, but both runners do get it done, which is nice. Yeah, we're going to be getting to a lot of glitches here shortly. It's going to be hard to keep up with them all. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to get our boots, which allow us to do a lot of glitches a lot more quickly than we would otherwise. So what we're going to do with these boots is immediately head up Death Mountain, which is not what the game intends you to do with them. So by using some of these boots clips, we're going to be able to pretty much break through a lot of diagonal walls. So we're going to use that to our advantage to get past the rock that blocks the cave leading to Death Mountain. So we'll rescue the old man on Death Mountain and get the mirror. Getting this health refill and this additional heart is really important for this split. It's not necessary per se, but it makes Palace of Darkness, which is the next dungeon we're going to, these runners will be going to much, much safer. Everything in there, well, not everything, the boss in there does 2 hearts of damage with all of his attacks. So yeah, here we can see them using those boots. The camera gets misaligned, so it doesn't make a lot of sense how they're jumping and moving, but they end up in the cave on their way up to Death Mountain. Nice DMAs from both runners. Still a very close race. We're going to be doing a lot more tricks just like that. Basically, now that they're up here, they're going to be doing one more similar trick to get into the a particular cave up here faster than walking all the way to it. Oh no, caznode getting blocked by the dead rock. That's really unfortunate. He's going to have to wait this out. And both runners losing a heart is not too bad, but you want to have as much health as you can so you don't have to pick up as many safety hearts in Palace of Darkness. But yeah, they're going to be clipping into this cave after they do some more shenanigans. Then they'll be using this cave to clip through a diagonal wall that puts them basically right into Palace of Darkness. Which they're not supposed to be there yet, but it has the hammer. The hammer's really useful. for routing a lot of things more efficiently. So I don't want that right away. And both nice Kiki skips to get here to Palace of Darkness quickly. That dead rock gave apathyduck a little bit of a lead, but still very close. And because they came in here the wrong way, they need to exit and come back in to fix some of the effects of the dungeon. So that the keys all work properly, all the sprites are loaded correctly, and they can actually complete it. They did use a key they didn't have to unlock a door before doing so to make the routing a little bit better. And now that we're here, we're going to be seeing the hammer jump, which is pretty common in NMG as well. It's a glitch that a lot of people are familiar with, but it still comes up in this category, saving some time to get to the hammer using a bomb jump. Before then, it's just grabbing some necessary keys to make it through the dungeon. And they're going to be routing in a bunch of bombs on the way. Luckily, both runners only took one bomb to get the Kiki skip to get in here, so they're not going to have to add any extras or plan those in through the dungeon. There's the apathyduck setting up for that bomb jump. Takes him a few extra menus. Looks like Kaz having a little bit easier time with that, but both of them get it. Well done. Apathyduck using a few extra arrows, which isn't the worst, but he might opt to pick up an extra arrow pack coming up in this next room if he doesn't get a drop from this mimic. The red mimic, if he drops arrows, they're right in your path, and that's what you're hoping for. But yeah, it looks like Duck opts to play it safe, picks up a couple extra arrows, which makes a lot of sense. Especially with Helmasaur King coming up. If things go wrong for Helmasaur King, the safest way to finish him off in his second phase here is using arrows. It's a little slower than using the hammer hits, but you can keep your distance, and having at least a couple arrows to use for that is very handy. Looks like apathyduck going for a slightly faster strat to hit that switch with the boomerang. Only hammering one of the pegs instead of two makes it a lot tighter, but it's a little faster. Yeah, this boss right here is easily one of the most dangerous parts of the run. Like I said, he does 2 hearts of damage. They only have 5 hearts. This is where, if you were to feel unsafe in this category and you wanted to run it, you would get the silver arrows early, using some of these glitches to get this, to have a little bit easier time with this fight. But caznode does a great job, doesn't take any damage, has some nice RNG to not get any fireballs in his way, and not getting a fireball right at the start of phase 2, but does a very good job finishing him off quickly before that becomes a problem. A couple nice Helmasaur fights. That's what you want to see. Keeping this a close race, because a death there is very punishing and very common. Yeah, we've got a nice close race here. The next couple splits aren't particularly scary, but of course there's a lot of time you can lose here and there. They're going to be going to Tower of Hera next with that hammer they just picked up. The hammer doesn't really help them get through the dungeon any easier, except for it makes the Moldorm fight a lot faster and a lot easier. The hitbox is a little iffy, but once you're accustomed to it, the fight is much, much easier than using your fighter sword. These runners are going to be doing this clip that you just saw Caznode do to get up the top of Death Mountain. They're going to be doing that clip a couple times throughout the run. There's a few different variations of it that you can do. Both do a nice job with the boots clip to get up here quickly. And then they'll be proceeding through the dungeon pretty much as usual. And Duck getting some defense from that Moldorm that does not want to give up his key. Well, nice boomerang dash from Caznode to get the switch hit, and he gets some invincibility frames by standing on these pegs, so he can relax, put his controller down, go get a drink of water, whatever he chooses to do. And Duck's just going to wait out these floor tiles, keeping them at bay. And he'll hit the switch in the next room. We're still about 10 seconds apart from the runners. That's still really close. We've got quite a bit of the race to go still. Caznode anticipating some trouble from the petting zoo. Plays that a little bit slow just to make sure he doesn't get hit and take too much damage. And the other reason we do Hera this early, or I guess the reason we do Hera this early in the category, is to get that Moon Pearl. That way we can route in Light and Dark World dungeons pretty much at will. And you'll see a little bit of back and forth there that you wouldn't normally. Caznode showing just 3 hits from that hammer takes Moldorm down, no trouble there. And the apathyduck, oh, misses a hit. Okay, misses a couple hits, but doesn't get knocked off, doesn't take too much damage. Cleans it up nicely. Alright, Caznode will be, at this point in time, heading down the mountain, going to the Dark World. He's going to do another one of those boots clips, similar to what we've seen before, to jump off a ledge, and he'll bonk, and turn around, and it'll just pull him down the mountain into this main area of the Dark World, which is the quickest way to get down here without beating Aghanim, without having, you know, mitts or a glove to be able to use the portals to get to Dark World. And we'll be going into Thieves Town, which is pretty similar to what you'd normally expect. Yeah, it's still a close race. Yeah, Duck's lost a little bit of time here and there in a couple rooms in Hera, a couple rooms in Pod, but no real issues yet from either of our runners. And it is interesting to point out as well. I want to mention that. Although Caznode is ahead at the time in the race. He's behind his PB splits, and Duck is behind in the race, but ahead of his PB splits. And Duck has the better PB as well, so that's very interesting. Yeah, the video game is very broken. A lot of it tends to be, at least in this category, similar type of glitches. A lot of them operate in a similar way. The big thing this game is doing two things at once confuses it, and diagonal walls, especially with boots, are a suggestion, and you can go through them if you want. Yeah, so Thieves Town is pretty straightforward. You have to kind of proceed the same way you would normally, casually, to get through it. No real trouble yet. Caznode took a little bit of damage, but it's a fairly safe dungeon. This room's a big difference, though. Normally playing casually, you'll have the glove, and you're able to lift that rock in the center, the one that Caznode's in. But here you don't. You're able to kill the enemies and proceed to the left instead. Both runners showing you can drop this bomb early, use it to kill that skeleton. Well done from both of them. Ooh, Duck taking an interesting bonk there. Not sure that I've seen that, but not really punishing, just the time loss of doing the bonk. Yeah, so by not having gloves, they're forced to go around. They'll pick up the mitts here, and now they don't need the gloves. They've already upgraded past them. You see, Duck is really ahead on arrows. I actually thought he would skip those 5, but there's probably another arrow pack somewhere else later that he is going to opt to skip that is slower than that I'm just not aware of, because he has so many. So Caznode in the blind fight, and Duck will be following him. We should see a pretty similar fight, although Kaz has gotten off script here. Duck's actually is going to look a little bit different, I would imagine here. It's a scripted fight, so if you do the same thing, if you hit him at the same time, he's going to move the same way. It's very safe. Yeah, so Duck saving just a tiny bit there, but it's a pretty safe fight. So even if you get off script, it's usually not too bad. Caznode taking a little bit of damage and just a little bit of a time loss, but no real issues. Duck showing exactly how the script goes. You know you've done it right when Blind dies to the left side of the lighted square on the floor. And we are pretty close together here. We're back to, I want to say that was like 8 or 9 seconds apart. It's under 10 seconds apart. Duck did catch up a little bit at the end of that Thieves Town. Here we're going to see the runners, they need the book to go up to the Ether Tablet in this run. They're not going to be using it to get into Desert at any point in time, because that's slow. But they do need the Ether Medallion to open Misery Mire. So they're going to be getting the book and getting the Tempered Sword in this category. Both doing Frog Door strategy to mirror straight into the library, and then when they hit the portal, they'll end up right on top of the smith here. If you do it right, just like Caznode did, you can talk to him even though the rocks are in your way. So well done. We'll see if Duck gets the same thing. He does. If you're on a very specific frame too early, you have a bit of a soft lock, and you have to save and quit immediately, or otherwise it's really bad. Becomes a hard lock. If you do it a little too late, you just pick up a rock and waste a second or two. It's nice to see Caznode and Duck using different strategies for turning in the Smith. These are roughly the same time if you do them both optimally. Duck's is going to involve more movement, but Caznode, by placing the mirror portal a little bit later here, he had to... he's going to be using the mirror portal instead of the screen transition to give the Smiths time to smith the sword. So it's nice to see two different ways to do the same strategy, or the same, get the same outcome. Especially when they're both so similar in time. And we did not quite see the fence dash from Caznode, so he does not save the 20 minutes, or 7 hours, or whatever the meme is. Duck does get it, though. So he's now 9 years ahead by getting that fence dash. Alright, now the runners are going to be entering Skull Woods. This is going to be pretty similar to the vanilla dungeon. Basically the same at this point for what you'd see in NMG. A little bit different health. Oh, Caznode having trouble with the mummies here. Alright, he gets it back under control. He's just gonna have to wait out the floor master. Wall master, whichever one it is. Yeah, Duck gained some time back. And did not lose the health. Which shouldn't be an issue, but can be. Stairmaster, I like that one. Yeah, that's probably what they're called. Alright, so both runners picking up the fire rod, head to the back of the dungeon. Again, as you'd see normally. Yeah, this is we're down to about 5 seconds difference, so Montula's patterns could easily swing this in the range of 5 seconds, even if the runners execute it very well. You can sometimes be a pain and just hang out by those spikes. The runners will be going for a quick double hit to start the fight, and if they get that, it'll only take 2 more hits. But sometimes even if you do it right, Mothula can just move right up against those spikes that negate any damage done by your sword. Caznode not getting the double hits. Oh, and missing. Okay. Yeah, still cleaned up really well. Duck with a little bit faster Mothula fight as well. Oh, we are neck and neck here. Both good fights. Yeah, Caznode just missed that one swing of his sword. Got hit with the onion rings, I guess, from Mothula, but luckily had the health to spare. Yeah, this is a fantastic race right here. We got a couple of really volatile segments coming up. Desert is a very unpopular segment for many runners. Starts out by, as you would think, going to Death Mountain, because it's on the way to Desert, right? So they're going up Death Mountain. They're going to use that book they just grabbed to get the Ether Medallion. Then they're gonna head down the mountain into Zora's Domain to get their flippers, because it turns out if you jump off the mountain at the right spot, you're right there in Zora's Domain. It's the way the map works out. So caznode missing the spin speed and Duck getting it. That actually puts Duck just the tiniest bit ahead. Hopefully he doesn't get blocked by Katy Perry, the Dead Rock. We're still absolutely neck and neck. They're going to head down the east side of the mountain. Just a couple more Dead Rocks to contend with. And you can see opting to use different strategies for the clip through that wall. apathyduck uses the boots clips. Instead of activating spin speed, just use his boots to push himself through the wall. One pixel at a time, or two, I suppose, to the left. And that's a little bit faster, so that's why you see him take a second there. Yeah, maybe caznode thinks he did get dead rocked earlier on the way into pod, so maybe he thinks he got his dead rock RNG out of the way, and he was a little more aggressive going around the north side of that bonk rock, which is more likely to get you blocked by the dead rock, but I don't know if it was reacting to them or just being as aggressive as he can, opts to go that way. It worked out for him. We'll see how the runners opt to do this right here. So they're going to the Dark World to head towards the Mire area. Looks like apathyduck does the bomb clip here to cross this wall, and caznode is going to do the, I think he does the spin speed? Yeah, he does the spin speed clip. Doesn't quite get it, so he's going to opt to go around instead of waiting around and getting bombed, which is smart. That's a very dangerous screen. Yeah, Duck saving some time and getting into the Mire area faster. It does put apathyduck shorter on bombs, so he's going to route one more in to make up for that, if he hasn't already. A lot of runners have very slightly different bomb routes. I know he usually goes for the Mire bomb jump, so he'll use one there. Not sure if caznode will do that. Link Orange does the quick hop there that apathyduck used. Does that? What happens if you fail that? Is that a soft lock, or do you just get pushed out of the wall? You push out of the wall. Okay. Yeah, so not too punishing, but yeah, if that happened, you'd have to do the bomb clip again, or go around the way that caznode did. Fortunately, it worked out for him. He was able to get that quick hop and save some time on the overworld on the way here. Still a really close race. Both are runners in the back of Desert, which is going to be pretty straightforward. Hopefully, they can both get the one cycle Landmola's kill using the Fire Rod and a tempered sword spin. Duck getting a bad hop there from the first one. Luckily, it's the first Landmola, so he doesn't have to wait for the third one to respawn. caznode does get the one cycle. Nicely done. And not a lot that Duck could do with that, with him hopping so far to the left. Brings them just a little closer together. And since we're already here in the mire area, take the mirror portal back, and we're going to be entering in. This is one of the longest segments of the category. There's a few shenanigans involving these major glitches. They're going to be picking up the hook shot in this split, which is in Swamp, which totally makes a lot of sense when you look at it, you know, without knowing the category. They're going to basically get the big key, and then clip around, get the hook shot. Very nice Mire 2 from Duck. That one Popo just gets away from caznode, slowing him down a little bit. Luckily he gets all the whiz robes in that first cycle. It's not too bad. Yeah, so they're going to get small keys they need. They're going to clip through the wall using a bomb clip to go to Hera. Then clip through the wall again to go to Swamp to pick up the hook shot. And then they'll mirror back and then finish this dungeon out. But there's a lot of things. The Hera to Swamp clip is a bit trickier, especially if you're newer. It's a pretty punishing one. And Duck grabbing the bomb there. Yeah, it looks like caznode should be good on bombs. Should be more than okay with just pushing that bomb slug out of his way instead of killing him. But it looks like both runners skipped the berry key, so it looks like they're both going to be doing the Mire bomb jump. See how this goes. A little more particular than some of the other bomb jumps. Nicely done from apathyduck. And caznode gets it as well. Well done. Two really nice Mire bomb jumps. Yes, that just saves a little bit of time walking around back to this part of the dungeon where they can do the clip to get to Tower of Hera, and then from there to Swamp Palace. You can see caznode using a bonk setup for this one, whereas apathyduck just finds the right pixel using some sort of visual cue. Both get it really quickly. That's one of the easier bomb jumps in the category. Duck does take some damage here. That's a little unfortunate for his Mire 2-2. And misses his first attempt. Caznode gets it, though. Caznode ends up entering Swamp Palace to get this hook shot a little ahead of Duck. And Duck continues to run through those bombs. He'll have to pick up a couple more. I don't know if he'll pick up the 3-pack in the dam or potentially just the 2 freestanding bombs on his way through Swamp Palace. I believe those are his good options. He's not too far behind, but yeah, lost a little bit of time on that Hera to Swamp clip. Duck getting the chest turn on the hook shot, of course, very important. apathyduck with a really nice Mire 2-2 to save a little bit of time. Caznode being extra safe and grabbing that heart drop. We'll see if he chooses to hover over here and save that heart to get the quicker crystal switch later in the dungeon. He does not. Okay. So he's not going to be going for the anti-fairy skip later on, using his sword beams to hit the switch at the end of the dungeon. Yeah, this is absolutely a fantastic race. And yeah, the health shouldn't be a problem for apathyduck. He's missing a couple extra hearts, but he's still doing fine. As long as he sticks to the effective script on Vitreous, he should be okay. Both setting up for the spooky action glitch, absolutely in sync. This is crazy. See if they both get the spooky action glitch here on this torch. They don't have to go to the next room and hit the switch. Alright, Duck gets the second one. That's good. That's the last of his magic. So if he didn't get that, he'd have to use another bomb and transition to the other room to hit the switch. Caznode leaving an eyeball on the left there. Oh, and getting hit by it. Okay. He stays alive. Misses the zero cycle on Vitreous, but does not take the death. That was a little scary. Duck pulls back ahead with a little bit more of a textbook fight, but I'm not sure the refill. I don't know if apathyduck's refill is going to be longer because he's lower on magic, or if Caznode's refill is going to be longer at the end of this because he's lower on hearts. But they both got through it, and this is still absolutely a neck-and-neck race. Yeah, that's like less than 2 seconds apart on the sword up. So both runs are going to be doing the Mire exit. We'll see what they do. They might use different setups for this that could be different. Yeah, so you see Duck going for the fastest one. Misses his first attempt. Oh, and Caznode going for the safer Brahmin strategy, but looks like he misses that as well. All right, both get their second attempt. Heading into Swamp Palace. It looks like Duck is not picking up these bombs here. Hopefully he grabs one or two in the dungeon. I don't know if he opts to use a bomb on the crystal switch early on in Ice Palace. If he uses the Cane of Samaria, that's one less bomb that he'll need. But he's still going to need one at the beginning of Swamp Palace, as well as one for Ice Rod Cave, one for Turtle Rock, and then ideally one to go into GT. That one's not strictly essential. You can pick one up in the dungeon. But yeah, it does pick up the extra one here that we'll see Kaz skip, probably. And one of the biggest benefits of this category is making Swamp better. In non-glitch categories, you have to do all this stuff on the left side, and you have to go up and around and just run through the water, and it's slow. But they already got the hook shot, so they don't even need to bother getting the big key from the left side. They can just skip that and go straight to the back. With this new diver down glitch, it's even faster. They're going to use the cane to jump over where the game detects if there's water or not. Very nicely done by Duck. Caznode looks like he has the setup as well. Excellent. Both really quick setups. Getting the Argus quick kill could make a big difference here. One of the toughest quick kills to get. Actually, I don't know if caznode even goes for the Argus quick kill. I think that last match I saw of his, he didn't even attempt it. But, I mean, if he doesn't attempt it and he goes quickly and Duck goes for it and does not quite get it, it could swing things a little bit. Duck with a nice swim in the Phelps room. Here you would not. Yeah, Duck having a very, very rough Argus fight. It's not a fight you're going to die at by any means. And you can, but it's unlikely, especially at his level. But that's something he's going to want that fight back. He's going to be kicking himself. He knows he can do better, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, Kaz made up a lot of time by playing it more slow and steady, by not even going for the quick kill, just a nice, consistent one cycle. Able to make up some time there, for sure. Yeah, still a fantastically close race. Getting a little bit of a cold stare party. Could swing some time back if one of the runners has a little trouble with icebreaker. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. In these next couple categories, but luckily both runners have the bombs they need. Oh, of course, I almost forgot the mirror coming out. So instead of mirroring and swimming over to Ice Palace and then taking the portal back, that's slow. So these runners are going to be doing this mirror wrap. You see caznode setting up for it. Makes the camera all wonky, and then you do the funny auto walk thing, and you're just here in Ice Palace. Very nicely done. The duck right behind him. It's also very nicely. We see caznode using the Fricker bomb setup to clip through the wall in Ice Palace to skip a couple rooms, whereas Duck uses the other method. I don't know what it's called, but it's the other one. Okay, and he does use the Samaria dash to hit this switch, which does give him one less Samaria block to work with using this icebreaker. So you see caznode doing that right now. Done before I could even get to it. Very well done. To clip through this barrier in the dungeon using the Samaria block. Duck right behind him. Yeah, both these runners are just on a tear. Really, at this point, it looks like both runners just had... I mean, really, that Argus fight was the big thing for Duck. Everything else has been pretty good. Even by his standards, been fantastic by my standards. Nice stair clip from Duck as well. Saved just a tiny bit more time in that room. But yeah, apart from that Argus, Duck's been pretty consistent with his PB. caznode had a little bit of issues in really Thieves Town and Skull Woods were the big time losses for him. Everything else has been really close to his splits as well. caznode into the cold stare fight. Melts through the first one. First phase. Is that a single poke strategy? Okay. Very nicely done. Duck's gonna do the same. Alright, good fights. Yeah, so didn't really see any variance there in Ice Palace. Duck lost maybe a second on his icebreaker being slower than caznode's, but saved about a second on the first room bomb clip. Everything else was pretty much spot on for both these guys. Actually, Caznode doesn't get any more time for his hearts because they have to wait for the magic refill anyway. So both of them with an empty magic meter, it's going to be the same length of time for the refill. Yeah, there's some bosses where that can make a difference if your magic is full or mostly full. But for Cold Stare, just it's going to be the same every time. All right, Caznode setting up for another clip to get into Ice Rod Cave just a little bit faster. Apathyduck doing the same thing right behind him, both with the high bomb drop. Apathyduck does a little bit of a toss to hit the wall with the bomb, saving just a few frames. But well done from both these guys. They'll be using that to head into Turtle Rock. This is another one of the trickier glitches, which is sometimes frustrating that it's so close to the end of the race. So you have to clip up here, and then you're going to clip through this wall using some slightly unintuitive inputs, and then do another mirror wrap to get into Turtle Rock. They're going to enter the dungeon in the back. Caznode getting pushed out of the wall. And yeah, Duck doing the climb a little bit faster. Let's see how the mirror wrap goes. Gets it first try, nicely done. Caznode misses the mirror wrap and has one extra screen transition. So Duck back in the lead, but again, just barely. Because the wall isn't blown up yet, since they came at it from the wrong side, they do have to blow up the wall themselves. Caznode taking a laser, that's pretty scary. Oh no! There's a death. He gets hit by that Helmosaur. That's so unfortunate. It's not... If you're gonna die, that's one of the, I guess, best places in this category to die, because it's such a quick respawn, but still, a death is a handful of seconds that you can hardly afford to lose when it's such a close race. Alright, so Duck just a little bit further ahead now, headed back to the big key. Caznode right on his tail still. He'll be grabbing the big key and mirroring back to that, what we used as the entrance to the dungeon. And then they'll be headed through to Trinex, which is not a big threat. Ooh, Caznode being really aggressive, not using his mirror there to read the pokey RNG, and he got the RNG you don't want. There's basically two options for that pokey. You can either move up and right in your way, or he can move any other direction and not in your way. But nicely done to react from Kaz. Nice peg puzzle from Duck. Use the Smarty block to hit two of those switches at once, and you can just breeze right through it. Kaz, it looks like a little early on his dash. Doesn't quite get the same success as Duck had with that. Well, Duck taking down Trinex with no trouble. Oh, maybe some trouble. Oh, geez. I spoke too soon. I thought he had that in the bag after the first phase went so well. That's so unfortunate. So Caznode takes the lead with that Trinex death. He didn't get the double spin off. It looks like he maybe released too early. I was trying to watch both runners, but it looks like he released his spin too early possibly and didn't get this double hit. So you see Caznode, see if he gets it. It's a double hit, which gives him a little bit more recoil, and then he's able to get one more slash to finish off Trinex before he gets ran over. Oh man. This is still absolutely close race. see how volatile this category is. It's so easy just to have one slip up and take a death. I missed where Duck took the damage before, because I think his health was a lot lower than it otherwise should have been at that point in time. He should have been able to survive that hit, but he must have taken some damage somewhere else. Yeah, he was certainly lined up the right way. It was either... I think it was too early of a spin. I know too early prevents you from getting the double hit. Too late, you just usually get hit before you spin, but he got the first hit off and not the second. All right, so caznode finishing up Turtle Rock. Another save and quit because you're stuck in the front of the dungeon at the end of this, since we never opened it. He's going to take the Old Man refill for a little bit safer of a GT. I'm not sure if he's watching and knows that he's got a bit of a lead, so he wants to take it safe, or if that's his normal strategy. It's pretty marginal of a time loss. That's a really, really good safety to take, because it only costs, I think, like 3 seconds, somewhere around there. It allows you to do a little bit of a faster strategy headed up Ganon's Tower as well. Duck is certainly watching as he is in chat. Knows he's behind. I don't know that he takes the health there normally, so this might be what he's used to anyway. But even if he does, that he's definitely not going to take that safety being behind at this point. Obviously, glossing over it, the runner just clips straight into Ganon's Tower without opening it. Proceed through the basement. Fairly similar to what you'd see in a No Major Glitches run, or a casual playthrough just done quickly. Looks like both runners opting to skip the torch key. There's a few different key routes you can use. There's quite a few extra ones that are very close to the same time on the way up. But I believe Duck normally goes for the mini Helmasaur key anyway. I've heard him speak out against getting the free Moldarm 2 chest, so I'm sure he's not going to get that one. We'll see what caznode does. It's a very minor time difference either way. The Helmasaur one is slightly faster. Caznode with a very nicely done Ice Armos fight. Ends it perfectly on cue at the top by that door, so you can just turn and dash in. Or rather, dash and turn in. So yeah, here, since caznode has the full health, he's taking a little bit extra damage on this spike floor. You'll notice when apathyduck gets up here, he'll do a little bit safer of a strategy, where he'll get a free heart from under a pot, but he'll take a heart of damage to negate it. But at least he might opt to do that same strat and just go up the tower with a very aggressively low number of hearts, but we'll see. Okay, yeah, he does opt to do the heart neutral strat. Uses some iframes to not take damage, and then take 1 heart of damage on his way out. Caznode doing a great job so far of the gauntlets. These 5 rooms that get practiced so much and are so much fun to do, at least when things go well. They're either very fun or very frustrating. He looks like he's about 30 seconds ahead of Duck at this point. Still very close. Kind of in the window of RNG, and he does miss the one cycle on land mode too. Cleans it up on the second cycle, but used a little extra magic as well. Yeah, we'll see what he opts to do as far as magic. Whether he opts to use the Cane of Samaria or use bow on these whiz robes to conserve some. But his torches are going to be a little bit different as well because of that. Or... Actually, no, he still has enough magic. Okay. Nice one cycle from apathyduck, making up time on land mold. Oh, caznode did pick up that one extra pot after land mode 2. Right, that's what fixed it. Okay. So Duck is able to skip that. It was slightly out of the way. And caznode, with his health in really good shape, he's able to take Heart of Damage to get that mini Helmasaur key. This is still a really close race. Yeah, we're right at the edge of reasonable RNG differences. RNG could still determine a swing here, but it's likely going to have to be RNG and execution difference to get this. It's still a very close race, though. Now that we've done all the dungeons, we get all the RNG up at the end, which can be a little frustrating. I've heard the expression used that you've played the game, now you basically bought yourself a lottery ticket by playing well at this point, or up to this point. caznode with a really nice Aga 2 fight, getting 3 and then 2. Unfortunately gets the blue ball, so we can't get, the double triple, but 3, 2, 1. The best he could do with that pattern. Very, very nice. apathyduck getting a nice triple as well to start off this Aga fight. Aga 2, that is. Only gets 1 there instead of 2, so he's going to have to get 2 here to finish this up in the same... Okay. Oh, wait. I guess that triple, one of those got eaten. caznode having a little trouble with those ball and chain guards to start of the tower. And a little trouble in the next room as well. Getting bullied by this blue spear guard. Or... not spear, sword guard. So yeah, it's about... the back crash is about 40 seconds apart, but caznode's lost a few seconds here in the beginning of Aga Tower. He also didn't get a fairy drop from those 2 blue guards. That can save on the refill time, so if Duck gets that, that could be another slight advantage in his favor. He does get the fairy drop, and the full magic drop. I'm not sure if he's going to go out of his way to get that, though. They're kind of in a bad spot. You don't normally see that magic there. The Aga Tower is always an interesting one because you see a lot of different strategies. And caznode continues to have just a tiny bit of trouble with each room. Nothing really major, though. Nothing that's really going to swing the race, but you see him lose just little bits of time going up here. I was going to point out, though, using different strategies, he switched to his hook shot for a couple things. which suggests he's going to use the hook shot during the Ganon fight for safety. And it does have a couple nice uses here in Ganon's Tower, but there's a lot of things you can use. You can use hook shot, fire rod. You can use boomerang for a couple of these rooms for some really nice strats. Caznode getting a nice super speed there. Duck finishes off Circle of Pots. And now we pray for good RNG that Aga doesn't waste everyone's time. I'll be honest, I probably won't count correctly because I get so bored in this fight when I'm playing that I forget to count or lose track of the number. I'll do my best. It's like Caznode's got one so far, one blue ball. You want as few as possible. I do want to point out as well, I just noticed that Caznode actually got a gold on his GT split. So he did a phenomenal job there. It definitely looked fast, and it for sure was. Okay, so only one for Caznode, it looks like. Only one blue. That's really good for him. Really not good for apathyduck. Looks like so far Duck with only one as well. And that's 3 for Duck, so he's going to get a for sure 3. The next one has to be a regular shot. Caznode going into the Ganon fight. In this category, Ganon is significantly safer than in NMG, since you get the full refill of health and magic before the fight starts. It becomes a lot safer. You're even able to tank a hit or two every time if you just are lazy or careless, as long as you get your hits in. But Caznode gets the 1-in-1 cycle at the beginning, which is fairly routine, but can still definitely go wrong, so nicely done to stay on track there. With both runners having a few minor issues in Aga Tower and a little worse RNG, it's like Duck enters the Ganon fight about 50 seconds behind. Caznode does get the torch glitch, so he's able to get these silverless spins off. Doing a nice job so far. I lost count. I think he's got... he's getting close. I don't know. Ganon is down for Caznode. Get your GGs out for him. That's a fantastic run. Looks like he's gonna just miss the 111. So a very low 112. Less than a minute off of his PB. That's a fantastic time. Fantastic race. From Caznode and from apathyduck, who's in phase 4 of Ganon right now, does get the torch glitch as well. So he's just got this last little bit to contend with, to clean up. What a fantastic race, all the way to the end.
Alright, and we've got Caznode in here for an interview. How's it going?
Yo.
GG, Caznode.
Good game.
Yeah, that was a terrific run.
That was intense. I can't believe I got the time I did with a death.
Yeah, that's one of the best deaths you can take, I guess, if you're gonna say that. Only one screen away from the entry of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I would have been better off just getting hit by the laser again, but I'll take it.
Yeah, that's a hard call to make, to do that sacrificial death. But yeah, get your GGs in chat as well for apathyduck finishing with a 1:13, less than a minute behind. It was a fantastic race the whole way through from both these guys.
Absolutely. You two were watching the restream, I believe, correct? So you two were aware that you two were like seconds apart from each other for like the majority of this race, right?
I wasn't watching super closely, but yeah, I definitely noticed that the lead went back and forth a bit, especially around like Mire and Swamp.
Yeah, that was one of the closer matches I've restreamed this tournament. I've restreamed some closer matches. Congratulations for putting on an amazing show. Unfortunately, because this is the losers bracket, this does mean that apathyduck is now out of the tournament. One of the tournament admins knocked out. Feels bad, man. But yeah,
we're of course joined in here by apathyduck as well. GG,
Yep.
GG duck.
GG.
GG.
Oh, you are very quiet. 1 second, let me boost you. Oh, alright, say again.
GG. Nice run, Kaz.
You were very quiet there. Sorry about that.
Hey man, you too. It's Try Next sucks in this game.
I don't fucking know anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, I was playing to like keep myself calm, and like I didn't hear and all of a sudden I'm inside. Like, okay, I'll just get this hit, and all of a sudden I'm inside of him. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like I could take one hit. I had 5 hearts, and then I just took another hit because my iframes ran out. I was like, oh, all right, I guess I don't know. I've never been in that situation before. I've never not gotten the double hit like in that position. So.
Yeah, I mean your run was really good, and like we mentioned, so close. Obviously, I know you had to stream up. I don't know how closely you were watching, but it was absolutely like room for room or screen for screen, like in that desert split. You guys were trading back and forth, you know, on your way up to get ether, and then traded again on your way to clip down to Zora, and then traded back again on the way to Mire, and so close. Just the bosses, I guess, were the big thing for you, right, Duck? Like the Argus as well was like, a little bit of an issue.
I know Kaz doesn't go for it, so I was like, well, I can gain 7. I've been very consistent at it. Like, the amount of times I messed it up so badly, I get 2 cycles is pretty rare. So, like, that plus the Trinex thing is pretty frustrating. So, I don't know. I'm going to be taking a break from this after this because I feel like I don't have any agency in this game anymore.
Yeah, that's certainly understandable. Yeah, did you feel at all, Kaz, like stressed or like you might have gotten tilted by anything? Like, did that death really throw you off? It seemed like it didn't really give you any more issues. You kind of recovered really quickly from it.
I don't think the death threw me off too much. I mean, of course I was disappointed, but you know, I knew that as far as deaths go, could have been a lot worse.
How did I pass you coming in? Because you were ahead of me out of Ice Palace, and then I could have sworn I noticed I was ahead of you, like literally going into Turtle Rock. Did you soft lock or?
I missed the warp once. I think my pixel was low, and I went for the Q as if it were high.
Oh.
Yeah. You got kicked out of the wall, caznode, on the TR climb, and then you also I think you were a frame late on the mirror press, so you had to reset the screen transition. So those two combined gave just enough time for Duck to take the lead entering Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I mean, without the death, this would have been like very high. Like, we've been really close. This would have been a really, really close race if I didn't die.
Yeah,
I do feel like we were subconsciously trying to keep each other in it.
Yeah, I mean, I was in it until like at least like I was like PB pace almost. I mean, a little bit over my PB, but like I mean the Mire getting kicked out of the wall and then like Swamp missing getting a 2 cycle Argus is just devastating. And then Ice was okay. I mean, Turtle Rock would have been good, like it would have been a 5.0x definitely if I got it. So
My run was pretty mediocre overall, but I did pull out a gold Ganon Tower by like 3 to 5 seconds. So, cool.
of course you did. I was I don't know what the hell was happening in Gauntlet to me, and then I don't know how I didn't get a 3-cycle. Like I don't know how that first one wasn't a triple. Like I hit him on the third one. I'm like, okay, he's done now. He's like, nope, he's still alive. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I was like, oh, well, looks like apathyduck got the triple. One more. You hit the final hit, and I was like, well, I guess not. He's still alive.
I would have gotten the double on Aga too if it wasn't for a blue ball.
Yeah,
I was
well
set
done.
up for a triple, a double, the 2-cycle too. And it was just, and then like he just gave me a blue ball, and then like the one, like it forced me off to not be able to hit the second one. Although I guess it would have been because the first one wasn't a triple, so you know.
I also think I got a 2-cycle on Landmo too, I believe. So, I mean, I've still got time to take off of that split. It's kind of hard for me to believe, but Ganon's Tower is impossible.
It's your gold.
It was just other than the Landmo, it was pretty much ideal.
What was your goal time?
Let me look. I'm not sure if this is the new gold or the old one, but no, this is my old was a 7:13, so my new was like a 7:10, 7:8.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that was a great race, guys. So Caznode, are you excited for your next matchup against Louis?
Oh boy, that'll
How
be
do
a
you
good
feel
one.
about that?
You know, it's going to be another challenging one. They're all challenging at this point, so I can only hope that you know, I get an equally halfway decent run.
Gotcha. Yeah, and well, it's all dungeons, so you know anything can happen.
Yeah, Louis is the all disasters master, so
He's a master of something, right?
so are you moving on to Super Metroid and Michael Jordan?
Yeah, I'm doing Voidathon, so I gotta keep the Michael Jordan skills up. I don't know. I might do a couple hundo runs where you just don't give a shit because of digging game, so that might be fun. Or I might just get so pissed off I stop playing. We'll see. But I mean, I definitely want to get like another PV. I just think I need a little bit of a break from this because I don't know. Like just stuff feels like it's happening to me at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely understandable. Very frustrating, but I mean, you had a phenomenal run, apart from those really just two big mistakes, and then 3 blue balls. Of course, Aga gives the runner that's behind more blue balls. That's how it goes.
Yeah, just grateful it wasn't sick, I guess.
But yeah, well done throughout the whole tournament to get this far, even.
Yeah, I mean, I said before, just like the people who are left, like it's all just coin flips from here on out. You know, mapping or RNG and all that kind of stuff. Like, category is real wonky. So yeah, nice run, Kaz. That was certainly exciting. We were telling each other to slow down in the IRC channel a couple times.
I
Yeah,
believe.
man, me too.
Sorry, you speak.
I'm glad that it wasn't the 117 versus 119 you got at the beginning.
I think this was both, except for the women. Of course, I died again, but like probably 2 of our better runs in the last week, based on what's been happening to us. So
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
I mean, yeah, but it sucks that I officially got a 113 flat. I didn't even get to save the dignity of finishing off a 112.
I believe finishing in losers round 4 does give you make you finish in the top quarter of the tournament, though.
Yeah.
In case anyone's wondering where I sound weird, I was eating pizza and bit on my tongue really hard and it's bleeding. welcome to Restream Turtles.
Very
It's a
uncommon.
tough world
pizza
out there.
injuries. Yeah, we should have some more really great matches coming up. Obviously, caznode versus Louis. I don't believe anything else on the schedule for the time being, but
Yeah, we have the Minish Cap randomizer bingo showcase tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and we have the Minish Cap randomizer tournament match at 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, with Blue Z facing off against Carson 777 in losers quarterfinals round 2. I don't know what that would translate into as normal losers round, or what a link to the past season. I believe I would be losers round 4 as well, so yeah. Pretty late in the tournament. I do apologize for this, I really didn't expect that to happen. While I'm trying to end the restream here, just fucking bite into my tongue, sorry about the profanity there. But I do want to thank A0 for commentating here today, making sure, this match did get a restream. Because when we don't have commentators, sometimes we do have to call off the restreams. So, well, A0 was the only commentator he did, so perfect. And,
thank you. Yeah, it was a great match. Thanks to apathyduck and caznode for putting on such a great match. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better one to commentate. It was just so close the whole time. Up till the very end. And thanks, of course, everybody for watching. Because nobody watches, there's not going to be restreams either, right?
I guess. I guess.
Yeah, and thanks to you as well, George, for getting this all set up and doing the things on the back end.
I'm just glad I didn't bite off enough to actually bite it off, because that would have been a medical emergency. That might have been a problem. But yeah, thank you for making the restream possible. For just providing us with some awesome gameplay, awesome commentary. And I think we also, since it is... No, it's still Monday. It's still... Right. I was gonna, for some reason my sense of time was something I was gonna call out the OOTR standard weeklies, but yeah, it's Monday. My sense of time is a little bit off. We do also have, if you like randomizers in general, we do have the Zelda 2 randomizer weekly race on Wednesday. Well, Wednesday for Europeans, it's actually on Tuesday for American time, 9 p.m. Tuesday. Or 1 a.m. on Wednesday. UTC. To go that as well, but aside from that, this week, not many matches scheduled this week. A lot of OOT, a lot of tournaments in general have been coming to a close recently. Minish Cap or OOT, all of that stuff. Unfortunately, there's not much to announce anymore. But yeah, I do have to thank you for making this possible, and I do like to have the runners in the commentaries always have the final word. So before we end here, just in case you have any final words on this match, apathyduck, since you are out of the tournament now, if you have any final words you want to say.
Oh, just GG, Kaz, go beat Louis, defend my honor. I'm glad Kaz finally completed his duck hunt.
Hey, good game to you too. I wouldn't have it any other way.
And Ace, do you have any final words?
No, I think I've said all I need to say. Just, it was a lot of fun. GG's, guys.